Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerd Mode On, and I got a gameplay commentary for you guys today over some Battlefield 4, and during the episode we're going to be playing on Siege of Shanghai. I'll be playing a little bit in the attack helicopter as well as on the ground. Now, during this episode, I was actually in communication with some of the randoms during the game. We just kind of squatted up, and everybody seemed to have a microphone, and for the most part, it was a very enjoyable experience. Now, one of the main things in Battlefield 4 that I don't occupy or use too much is the in-game VoIP, which is something very different. I was very happy to see it finally come to Battlefield 4 as well as just a platform by itself to at least have some communication and allow the initiative pushes to occur. However, I just find myself using Skype and TeamSpeak and third-party software to kind of VoIP over with my friends because I find it a little bit more effective, and it also allows us just to continually talk without having to press a certain button, which is more notably noted as push to talk. However, from time to time I do enjoy the overall experience, and I find it to really add or enhance the overall experience, especially when it comes down to the combat situations that require some in-game VoIP or just communication by itself, and I'm glad it's a feature at least added into Battlefield 4. Now, of course, when it comes down to the attack helicopter, I actually had a pretty enjoyable experience in it. I actually got a pretty good score, and I'm sure you guys will be noting that I will be uploading a few videos over the next couple of days occupying some attack helicopter gameplay as well as some Operation Locker, which is a continued map that seems to show up on my channel on a weekly basis. Now, of course, during my play session, I was actually using the pilot position in the attack helicopter, considering that most of the time I don't allow people to fly me around just because they're always not the best pilots, or they become too aggressive or too defensive depending on their playstyle. However, my playstyle is not flawless by any means. I probably make a lot of mistakes just like anybody, but I feel like I'm a lot more stable in the attack helicopter. I know when to get out of situations in most cases, and it seems like most of the time I get killed, it's either by a stinger that goes through ECM or a tank shot because somebody's using the Sabo shell. But of course, with that said, if Daze is flying, then I always have a really good experience using the gunner position, considering that it allows me to wreak havoc on the opposition, especially if we're trying to be a little bit more aggressive than normal. But for the most part, I just enjoy the TV missiles, considering that I'm still trying to build my skill level with that particular weapon. But when it comes down to it, I've been having a lot of fun playing Battlefield 4 today. The overall experience has been pretty graceful, especially when it comes down to it, and I've been really trying to settling back on the raging, considering that it just becomes way too common, and it's especially something that I do to the point of destruction. There's been a new habit that I've been developing, and unfortunately it needs to stop, considering that it just becomes too destructive, especially when it comes down to the longevity of the equipment that I occupy. What's been happening is, I rage, and then, of course, I become more vocal, especially in those circumstances, considering that a lot of the deaths that I get are usually mortar spammers. I just will never become somebody that enjoys that kind of gameplay, as well as I think it needs to be terminated from the franchise by itself. But of course, that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys enjoy mortar spamming and spamming explosives. I don't know, you guys can play the game however you so wish, but I feel like on the receiving end, it's definitely not a very enjoyable experience. Now, of course, alongside just the common rage that comes associated with that, I've been becoming more destructive in my anger to actually hit stuff. I've been hitting my desk, which is a very poor decision when it comes down to it, considering that the construction on my desk is actually created of glass and metal, which don't exactly coordinate too well together, especially if you're going to be beating on it as hard as I normally do. Now, of course, I'm going to hopefully be upgrading to a bigger desk. That's something that I really want to do, considering that I have aspirations to live stream as well as do a lot more webcam stuff in the future, but you guys will have to wait until that stuff comes to tuition. But anyway, guys, when it comes down to it, that's just something I'm trying to work on right now, and it's hopefully going to make some progress over the next couple of weeks, and maybe if it comes down to it, I just need to buy something to especially put more damage into that instead of on my equipment, considering that it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense when it comes down to it. But until the next episode, guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out, guys. Peace.